Welcome, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled to take you on a thematic geographical tour of Maharashtra in today's explainer. We're going to be diving deep into some of the most crucial, recurring questions from the MPSC exams. But here's the thing. We aren't just going to rattle off the answers. We're going to break down exactly what these questions are actually asking and why they're so incredibly important for understanding the state's amazing landscape.
Okay, let's get our bearings straight from the start. We're taking a top-down journey across the state today. So imagine moving from the highest mountain peaks, making our way down through those rugged mountain passes, all the way to the coastal plains, and finally into the river valleys that carve up the inland plateau. By mapping these previous year questions directly onto the geography itself, we're going to make this information completely unforgettable. So here's our roadmap for today. First, peaks of the Sahyadris. Second, mountain passes. Third, the Konkan coastline. Fourth, plateaus and rock formations. And fifth, rivers and divisions. Let's jump right in.
All right, Section 1, Peaks of the Sahyadris.
Now, examiners absolutely love this question because it really tests if you can mentally separate the state's specific geography from the rest of India. You aren't looking for the Himalayas here, right? You need to pinpoint the exact apex of the Western Ghats that sits entirely within the state's borders. It's perfectly designed to see if you've truly mastered those local administrative boundaries.
And what's really interesting is looking at how these peaks rank by descending height. This is another super frequent question format. They'll literally ask you to arrange these exact peaks in order. So, with Kalsubai taking the crown as the highest in the state, followed by Salher, then Mahabaleshwar, and finally Harish Chandragarh, you've got the exact, precise sequence the examiners are looking for.
The crucial takeaway here is pinning these peaks to their exact administrative districts. A classic match the following question will pair a peak right with its district. So you absolutely need to know that Kalsabai is proudly sitting over in Ahmednagar. Salher is up in Nashik. And Harish Chandragarh, that one is also found in Ahmednagar. Moving right along to Section 2, mountain passes.
The north to south pass order. This question is notoriously tricky because it forces you to recall not just the names of the passes, but their exact spatial relationship to one another. Examiners know for a fact that students easily jumble up the passes in the middle of the state, so establishing a really clear directional anchor from top to bottom is honestly the only way to tackle this.
If we mentally travel downward on the map, it gives us this exact exam sequence, starting with Dalgat up in the north, moving down through Kumbarli, then Ambagat, and going all the way down to Ambaligat in the deep south. You just gotta lock this sequence into your memory.
Okay, on to Section 3, the Konkan coastline.
So, what type of coastline actually is the Konkan? This question is specifically designed to test your geological vocabulary. The exam isn't just looking for simple descriptor words like sandy or rocky. They want the precise scientific classification that explains exactly how the coastline was formed in the first place. And the answer is the Konkan is classified as area coast. Understanding this definition really helps explain why the region features these deep, submerged river valleys, rather than just straight, flat beaches. Basically, the sea level rose and flooded the river mouths, and that created those highly indented, jagged edges you see along the western border of the state. Next up, Section 4, plateaus and rock formations. Let's talk about basalt rock and see how it builds our understanding of human geography too. Because this isn't just dry geological trivia. Questions frequently ask about the composition of the Deccan Plateau, this incredibly abundant basalt rock, which was born from ancient volcanic lava flows, is so fundamental to the region that questions even highlight how it's widely used as the primary material for building homes in rural Maharashtra. Which leads to another fascinating question from the exams. Why is Maharashtra's landmass geologically so stable? Well, the answer lies right here. Because of this deep-rooted volcanic history, the state rests on these incredibly hard, ancient rocks, making it a phenomenally strong and stable geographic block. Now that we've got the physical structure laid out, the towering mountains and those hard basalt plateaus, it's really fascinating to shift from looking solely at physical landforms to seeing exactly how these massive barriers dictate the flow of the state's complex river systems. And that brings us to Section 5, rivers and divisions. A huge theme in the exams is identifying which mountain range acts as a water divide between which rivers. Notice how the mountains act basically like giant walls. The Satpura Range in the far north firmly isolates the Narmada River from the Tapi River. And then, just south of that, the Satmala Ajanta Range serves as the critical divider separating the Tapi from the mighty Godavari.
Continuing our journey south, this beautiful geographic pattern holds up perfectly. The harsh Kandra Balga Hot Range cleanly separates the Godavari and Bhima River valleys. And further down, the Shambhu Mahadev Range neatly compartmentalizes the Bhima from the Krishna River. Understanding this interlocking puzzle of mountains and rivers, that is the absolute key to mastering Maharashtra's hydrology for these exams.
Okay, here's a fun one. Which division has the most districts in Maharashtra? This question loves to trick students who confuse physical land area with administrative complexity. The examiners want to see if you know which region has been subdivided the most times for management purposes, totally regardless of its total square mileage.
When you look at the choices, among all the divisions, Aurangabad consistently stands out as the correct answer. It's the largest division purely in terms of the sheer number of individual districts it encompasses, successfully managing a vast, vast stretch of this complex plateau geography.
As we wrap up today, I want to leave you with this ultimate synthesis question to think about. How did geography actually shape Maratha history and its forts? The peaks, the basalt, the Ghats, these are not just dry facts to memorize. This exact geography, the steep drops, and the hard volcanic rock is precisely what made legendary forts like Raigad completely impregnable. Once you understand the geography, you unlock the history. Keep exploring, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.